What's going on, guys? Mattio Daddio Mining here. So today we are going to take a look and see if we can find the Goldilocks zone as far as temp and fan settings for this KS0 to see if we can get the best hash rate possible. So let's go ahead and open up our user interface. Yeah, look at all these dips here. You know, actually, let me refresh it real quick and just make sure we're up to date. Yeah, I mean, so look at all those dips right there. I mean, spending most of their time down at 50. Like, yeah, we're going up there for a second, but, you know, current temps are at 44 and 53. My fans have not even kicked on yet. So I've been up running for about, I don't know, about an hour now. And we are starting to level off again, but I mean, going up and then down to 50. Going up to 100, down to 50. Up and down. So I mean, just the amount of just down in that is just, it's just, I don't know, to me it's just not acceptable. And look at this, I just refreshed one more time after like 10 minutes and we are damn near down to like 28, I think that says. I mean, what the hell? Just a constant up and down and up and down, and I feel like it's more down than up. Temps are at 44 and 53, and my fans still have not kicked on yet. So the way it is running right now, my Noctua fan, my USB one is plugged in, and that must be pulling enough heat out of it that the internal fans don't need to kick on. So, but still, all this up and down hash rate, just, it ain't going to do it. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to unplug the USB Noctua fan and see if the fans themselves kick on and see what happens. Okay, so it's rebooted. It's been running for about an hour and 19 minutes, and look at all those dips. I mean, down to 43 gigahash right there. I mean, what? Down to 73 there, 80 there. I mean, as a whole, this thing is spending a lot more time below the typical 100 gig hash. Temps are 40 and 47. Fans are 4,700 and 4,600 RPMs. So the thing that I don't understand is, in a message from Ice River, they said that the temperature of the chips needs to be maintained higher to make sure that you get an accurate hash rate, or a better hash rate, an efficient hash rate. But on their website here, it says the machine needs to be placed with a convection airflow, meaning that it needs to have a fan on it. So, I mean, if it needs a fan on it, then why are we removing certain temperatures? Then the onboard fan should take care of the heat and kind of regulate it that way. So I guess I just don't understand why it would tell us that it needs airflow, but then tell us that no, it needs to maintain a higher temperature. It just doesn't make sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this run for probably another hour and a half or so, and we'll just see if it stabilizes and see what shakes out. So I will see you guys back here in just a little bit. Oh, nothing like recording, 10, 12 minutes worth of content and you realize that your mic was off. Awesome. Yeah. So it's been about 3 hours, and I mean, we were averaging pretty good here until here. I mean, these dips down here, 65, 73, but 58 here. I mean, no. I mean, up until here, yeah, like I said, we had a really good average. 545 accepted shares, only one rejected share, which, I mean, is a good thing. I think if our hash rate actually was, more unstable, we'd be seeing a lot more rejected shares. Let's see, temp is at 38 and 44. Fan is at 4,600 RPM, and fan 2 is 4,500 RPM. I think what I am going to do is I'm going to tinker with the fan settings and just see what happens. Let's continue to mess with it to see if we can find that Goldilocks point. I'll be back with you in maybe another hour or two. More giant dip here. I think this was one of the ones that I had the last time that we talked about this. Last time we talked about this was like an hour ago, 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, hell, I don't know. So I think what I'm going to do now, 39 and 46 for temps. Fans are about 3,700 RPM. I still have that USB Noctua fan plugged in, so I think I'm going to unplug that and then see what this thing does. See you in about another hour. Okay, back again after a couple of hours. So I think we were somewhere in here when we left off. And for a little while we did okay, but now look at this shit. 50, little spike to 80, 50, 146, and then immediately back down to 50, almost 60. Now back up here. So I guess, let's see what the temps are. So our previous temps were 39 and 46. So I don't know. Let's play it again. Let's try. Let's take the the fan speeds. I can talk sometimes, I promise. The fan speeds, let's take it down to 30%. See what the hell happens. That's weird. So taking it down to 30% added another 5,000 RPM. It's interesting. Oh shit, it never, oops. So it unchecked itself. Okay, now let's try it. Okay, so I'm thinking every time you come back into the mining settings, I wonder if it just unchecks itself, and it does. Okay. Okay, now we're down at about 3,000 RPM. All right, well, I will see you guys back in a sec. Or I guess really in a couple hours for me. Hey, it's been another hour or so. Let's see. We rose up. I believe this is where we left off last time. And then down here to 73, which is not bad. Back up to 95. Down to 65. Back up to 146. Down to 80. Now we're on an uptick again. I mean, really, it's more or less of the same. Just lots of rises and falls. I mean, there's no consistency at all. And I get it's going to fluctuate, from time to time. But I kind of would, figure it would fluctuate between, 80 to 110. Somewhere, not all the way down in the damn 50s. So, our temps, actually do our RPM first. We're about 3,000 for our RPMs. Temps are 45 and 53. I think our temps were 45 and 50 last time, somewhere in there. But the other thing, though, too, is rejected shares. I had one share rejected in the 7.5 hours that we've been up, and then in the since I changed the RPM down to 30%, I've had two more. So I'm kind of thinking that that's not where she needs to be. So let's try the other way. Man, I keep going to the wrong place. So I think we started at 40%. So let's do 50% this time and see what happens. And now we're back up at about 46, 45, 100 RPMs. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I think it's been about an hour since the last time we talked. I think we left off, I don't know, maybe somewhere in here. So we had this big dip, and then we shot up to 140-ish, 139. And then for the next 35 minutes or so, we're all the way up here. We didn't dip below 100 once. I mean, 5-minute hash rate, 124, 30-minute hash rate, 127. I did increase one rejected share, though. I believe we were at 3 before. Yeah, so temperature 40, temp 2, 47, fans at about 4,700 and about 45.5. I think I have my fan speeds just set on 50%. Yes, I do. Oh, now we're starting to dip. So I'm thinking I'm just going to sit right here and we'll just see what happens. We'll let this run another hour or so and see what we find. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, it's been, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't know. I've been doing this all frickin' day, and I don't know, I've just kind of lost all track of the time. It hasn't been that long, though, 20, 30 minutes tops. So I think we started up here somewhere, and then I think we got to about here, or maybe here, hell, I don't know. And no, I think it was here, and I said, okay, well, this is the best I've seen so far, so let's just keep going and see what happens. So for an hour from here to here, we were looking good. We dipped a little bit to 87, no big deal. Came back up, went all the way up here, started going down, no big deal. After about an hour and a half, we crashed down to 65 for 10 minutes, and now we're on our way back up. Let me refresh and see if we can go any further. Now we're starting to dip again. Well, I mean, from here to here, I mean, this is the most stable I've seen in this thing all day. So you know what? I think I'm going to mark down these settings, which again, 40 degrees Celsius, 47 degrees Celsius, fan settings at about 4,700 RPM, 4,500 RPM, with a fan setting, so the fan's set manually at 50%. Now, I have mine sitting next to my other miners right now. The ambient temperature is 84 degrees Fahrenheit, so that could affect, you guys trying to do the same thing. So I'm going to jot this down. I might wait another 10 or 15 minutes and just see if this stabilizes or see if it takes another dump. And then I am going to up the percentage. I think I don't know, 5. Maybe we'll do 10%. Oh, and just another heads up, I do have my Noctua USB fan still unplugged, so this is purely running off of the internal fans right now. All right, see you guys in a bit. Okay, we're starting to recover a little bit. Back up to 80. So you know what? Let's bump these fan speeds up just a little bit. Let's go to 55%. And let's see what happens. Our temps before, are they still accurate? 40 and 47, I believe they were. Yeah, 40 and 47. Let's see. Okay, our span feeds are coming up to just about 5,000 RPMs. Okay, temps coming down just a wee bit. So we'll let this run for 45 minutes to an hour, and we'll see what's up. Talk to you in a few. Also, I feel like my accepted shares has gone up quite a bit as well. I mean, it's been a while. It's been like an hour since I looked at it, but I think I was sitting at like, I don't know, 500-600. The last time I looked, maybe an hour or two ago, and now we're up to 1,700. I mean, I don't think it's really that much, but I don't know. I just feel like it's way up there than what it was. So maybe those last settings, we're getting closer to finding the goldilocks here. So okay, yeah. It's only been a minute or two since I stopped talking, so back in about 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, I think about 45 minutes has passed. I just refreshed this, and I mean, we were kind of doing okay. We kind of spent most of our time below 100, and then right here we just took a nosedive down to 51, and it's been, I don't know, we haven't hit 51 for a couple of changes now. Temp 46 and 39, RPMs floating around low 5,000s. So far, our best has been when we've been at temps at 40 and 47, the extra USB fan not plugged in, and fans manually set to 50%, and my ambient temperature is 84 degrees. what am I at now? So right now I'm at 55%, and we got a crash. So I think we could go up to 60, but I don't think that's going to do it. I think I'm going to set take the manual away, and then I'm going to let it regulate itself, and I think we'll see where we go from there. Still with no additional USB fan. So let me get out of here. That's already unchecked, so I mean, really, this is kind of deleting that is kind of a moot point. So let's hit save. So it regulates itself. Okay, operation succeeded. Cool. Okay, there we go. So fans ramped up, and I think that's just the initial ramp up. They'll calm down here in just a second. So I'll let this go for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. Then it'll be right about 12 hours. So we'll see what it shows, and that will probably be my last test for the night. Because I mean, it just seems, and I've tested already having fans higher. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting tired. I've already experimented with having the temps lower, as far as letting the internal fans regulate themselves and having the Noctua fan. I did another video on that, and I think the best temps that we found were when we had the fan pointing upward, and while the thing was sitting vertical, and that was 35 Celsius and 42 Celsius. That was the coolest that we found, was just, running the internal fans and the USB fan. So we're just a little bit warmer right now. I totally forgot where the hell I was going with this. Okay, so fans are ramping up even more. Trying to cool that down. Okay, so yeah, anyways, I don't really feel like there's a need to experiment with the fans, busting balls at 100%. Because I've already tested at slightly higher than this with, not higher, but, lower, you know what I'm saying, lower fan temps. And, the result was, up and down, up and down. So as of right, like I said previously, I'm thinking that these got to be our Goldilocks settings. At least for me, I don't know about you guys. And I mean, and really the whole thing could just be, just a 100% fluke. And I mean, honestly, probably really to know a true result, you'd probably have to let this run for like 5-6 hours or something like that to get like a true test. And for all the tiny little changes that I've been doing literally all day, it's just that would just take forever. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can take this video with a grain of salt. The whole thing could be a fluke, but I don't know. That's kind of what I'm finding. So I'm gonna let this thing regulate itself, and be back here in about 45 minutes when this hits 12, and figure out what we find. See you in a bit. Okay, and we're back. So while we were waiting for this thing to do its thing, I actually decided to ramp the fans up just for shits and giggles. And the results are actually pretty damn good. And oddly enough, these are the lowest temps that I've seen. So the lowest temps that I saw on my original test, on my original video, was 35 and 42. So right now we are down to 35 and 41. Well, it just climbed. This was 40 earlier. So, but yeah, I mean, look, that's pretty damn stable. So I flipped it over right about in this area here. And I mean, yeah, we did hit 80 here and about 73 down here. But I mean, really, the rest of it is pretty on par, I think. So, and I mean, there's really no way to do like a really, longer test than this, because I mean it only shows, just 110 minutes, just under 2 hours. I've been at it all day, so I think I am going to just let this run overnight, and we'll reassess it again in the morning, and we'll see what it does. So we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, it is the next morning, and I left everything run overnight with the fans. With the fans at a higher RPM. I did go back and plug in my knock to a USB fan, and my current temps are 34 and 39, and that is the lowest that I've ever had these temps. I think in my previous video, the best that I could get it down to was 35 and 42. But I'm kind of thinking these fans are stuck running on this RPM right now. But it was also, when I did this first test, it was the ambient temperature was much different. The ambient temperature where it's at now is 84 degrees, and where I'm at right now is 76 degrees. So that probably would play a factor in how hard these fans are pumping out on their own. So, I mean, looking here this morning, it's not bad. I mean, we still got a lot of dips, and I feel like we're still spending the majority of our time below the 100 mark. But, I mean, I wish there was more. I wish you could check out more than just an hour and 10 minutes. And if I've clicked around and played around with it. I don't see how to open it up anymore. So, I mean, if anybody else knows how to see like a 24-hour stretch, let me know in the comments. But still, on one of our other tests, I still think that this is the best that we've seen so far, with temps at 40 and 47, no USB fan, fans manually set at 50%. And again, that all depends on your ambient temperatures. Mine, as I said, is 84 degrees. So I would say, play with it till you get to 40 and 47 and see how you make out, Now, all of this testing, this is what I found useful for me, and all of this testing should be taken with a grain of salt. It could be just that my device is different, silicone lottery or whatever. Or every part of this test could have been a fluke. So, I guess take it for what it is, and hopefully everybody out there will get the best possible out of this device. All right, well, with that said, I'm out of here. Everybody have a wonderful day.